Whew,
All right.
man, what a what a past couple of days it's been in the world of Notre Dame football, and especially in my line of work, recruiting specifically. Very, very busy. New commitments the past couple of days, including one that just popped like an hour and a half ago. We're going to be talking about both of those commitments, as well as in about 28, 27 minutes from now, the college football playoff show, ranking show, whatever, will be live. So yeah, we'll talk about this live. So if you're watching us back on YouTube, or if you're listening to the podcast, you already know where Notre Dame slotted in the new rankings. Tim and I do not know, because it's 8:03 p.m. Eastern time live as we were doing this show. But really excited to kind of give you the raw, unfiltered reaction. So that'll be fun. Folks, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel for more content. blueandgold.com, your home for all things Notre Dame football and recruiting, as well as basketball underway for both men's and women's. Tyler Horka and Jack So will do an incredible job covering that. Tim, your camera angle is a little different. I feel like this time we're tilted, but
I'm a mess. Hold on, I'm still
everything good on your end though, besides you being a mess.
Yeah, everything's a mess. The guy said spins up. That was horrible. I mean, I grew up with Rams, obviously.
Dude.
That was a tough one for the Rams last night. Speaking of the Rams, just a quick 30 seconds. Obviously, Jerry Faust was one of the first Notre Dame coaches I became aware of. Obviously, I was still just a little tyke when Devine and Montana and those guys were rolling. I do remember the Herschel Walker, Georgia Sugar Bowl game. Notre Dame lost that one. And then obviously Faust fever took over. So, condolences to his family and all that stuff. I mean, I've read tons about Jerry Faust. He might go down. He's legitimately top 5 high school coach of all time. There's been reports what he did at Cincinnati Moeller is like legendary. So without a doubt, I've seen some articles written about great high school coaches, and Jerry Faust definitely would be up on the running for a Mount Rushmore of all time. Just legendary. I think I won like 5 national titles, for crying out loud. So, you go from high school to Notre Dame, you're pretty good. So that's pretty impressive. And then as a Ram fan, I grew up, my favorite NFL player of all time is Eric Dickerson. Became a huge ED fan. John Robinson, who also passed away yesterday, the great, college Hall of Fame coach for USC and obviously the Rams, and came back to SC. So, the last 2 coaching guys, it's like started thinking about my little tiny youth. Speaking of your little baby, right? Sitting there and down the road, who's she going to be following as the coaches? But just a quick little shout out to those 2 legendary coaches. And then we roll from there. I lost track. I was watching some stuff on Jerry Faust last night. So pretty powerful guy. You're muted, Mike.
Thank you. I don't even remember clicking that. Cincinnati Moeller head coach from 1962 to 1980, and then Notre Dame takes a chance on him after Dan Devine stepped down. So he was 178, 23, and 2 ties at the high school level. 7 unbeaten seasons, 4 national prep titles, and 5 Ohio State titles in his last 6 seasons. Pretty solid for him at the high school level.
That's the amount of just his. There's a list. There's a list that you could find online. Everyone that's listening is like all his Division I players that he coached. It's just like it's crazy. So it's crazy, and obviously that's the Cincinnati Catholic League, which is not your average league in America. So yeah, he did at the highest levels, and obviously Coach Robinson at SC and with the Rams. That's where I became a big Rams fan, man. My dad was an O-line guy and taught me O-line play in the 80s with the Rams and ED. So that was awesome.
So now you're a Patriots guy. And how about this?
It's the wife, man. When you're with the wife, for 20 years, you got to follow who she follows, right?
Well, my wife follows Notre Dame. She loves watching Notre Dame with me. Sometimes I just want to watch the game in my office while someone over or something. I want to watch the game in my office. Got my multiple monitors, and she's like, "But I want to watch." We were watching the Broncos Chiefs game, and she's like, "Oh, Audric Estime, I remember him." I love it. So, Tim, shame on you. But how about this? Notre Dame, and it was Navy, right?
Yep.
Playing in Gillette Stadium. That's pretty cool in 2026. Pretty cool. You gonna go?
I know you You and I will do a pregame show, a postgame show, maybe a little halftime show. I already told the wife. I was like, we're taking the kids. Yeah, we're definitely going to Foxborough. So
Yeah.
Notre Dame has BC next year, if I'm right, or maybe 2 years. But so doing a couple Boston trips, that'll be nice.
Sick. Nice. Yeah, we'll be able to work it out, Tim. Maybe
Yes.
maybe after the show we can figure out our plans for 2 years from now on our post-game show.
For Halloween 2026. It's like, my gosh, what's going to happen between now and then?
So, Tim, I hope it's okay to say this.
I don't see why not.
But you sent an email about the Joe Moore Award.
Oh my God, love it.
So they announced the semifinals today. Notre Dame's on there. Alabama, Army, Indiana, Iowa, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oregon, Tennessee, Texas, and Tulane. How about Harry Heastand is on the Joe Moore Award committee? So, Tim, what was this email that you sent the Joe Moore Award?
Oh, it's just some data. There's a couple guys I know who are on the committee that I've chatted with over the years and know and have talked with. So I was like, some data. It's like because there's certain things they look at and they weren't, which is awesome. Real quick, unbelievable job, for Coach Joe Rudolph on these guys. And that was the thing. It's one of their things. Cole Kubelik, who's like Aaron Taylor's the big head honcho, but Cole, who works with SEC Network and all that, kind of runs the underbellies of it all. And he had this quote like, this season, there's so many O-lines that are still merging together, still coming into one, still learning how to play. And I'm like, fellas, how do you not look at Notre Dame? This is the ultimate for that quote. So sent some data to some guys, and they're definitely up there. When you break it down to, they may not be the best of the best, far and away the most improved since day one to now. So I was ecstatic that they got into the top 10. Like I said, they weren't on the watch list just a month ago. They announced like 20, 22 teams on their watch list, and Notre Dame wasn't there, probably because everyone thinks Notre Dame stinks because you lost to NIU, the season's over with, But since then, man, they just keep getting better and better and better. And if I could find my damn numbers, Mike, I am like just fired.
Where are the sticky notes, Tim?
Dude, I mean, look at all these. You see all these? Look at all these. It's like, come on, Tim, roll them into one. Had a long day, so I'm getting it organized. Couple quick notes for this group. They're 12th in rushing yards per game at 215. 12th in the country. 6th in rushing touchdowns. 6th. So 5th in yards per carry at 6, which is the same as the 2015 group. All 5 or 4. Elmer went to DC, but 4 NFL draft picks, and obviously the 2017 was like 6.7 yards a carry, bunch of freaks. So this is my favorite stat when you're looking at this team, and obviously this has to do with the electric running backs and Riley Leonard running 20-yard runs. Mike, they're 19th in the country. 30-yard runs, they're 10th. 40-yard runs, 8th. You see a little pattern, a little improvement.
See it.
50-yard runs, they're 7th. So you just the longer it goes, the better the running game goes, which obviously it does take an offensive line to create those. And that was one of their little criteria. They're big fans of red zone touchdowns. Notre Dame's in the upper echelon of red zone touchdowns for the team. I think they're in the top 5. So that was exciting. And then just a quick comparison when looking at the 2020 O-line, which was a finalist, and the 2017 team, which won the award. Mike, people want to talk about the 2017 team. Great O-line, no doubt about it. Everyone's in the NFL. This unit, 2024, with as many starts as you and I combined, right? 6 coming into this season. They're only giving up 1.3 sacks a game with all these rookies and all this stuff and all these new guys, a quarterback who likes to run around sometimes and go crazy. In 2017, they gave up 2.3. So a full sack more a game. That's with McGlinchey and Nelson, by the way. I just want to add that. In 2020, they gave up just 2.1. So you can see how this O-line is doing a pretty damn good job. And my favorite stats is tackles for loss. They are giving up 1.5 less than the legendary 2017 team. So just a few little context when you hear grumblings out there of, oh, is this O-line? How are they doing? Dude, I think they're fun to watch. I watch them every Sunday night. I sit down, watch them, break it down for a few hours down in the basement, and have a lot of fun. They are improving. It's fun to watch. A lot of these guys have really good PFF numbers, which I know people don't like or whatever, but no, they have a couple dudes in the 70s, which is elite football. So that's really exciting. So that's just my quick little ramble. They're 1 of 10. I think it's awesome. Me personally, I think Oregon was the favorite coming into this season. I wouldn't be surprised if they win it.
Is that your smoke alarm I'm hearing?
Is that what's beeping?
The chirping?
Hopefully it's not it's the mother-in-law's. I kid you not. I'll be honest with you. I just fixed the thing 2 weeks ago, and if it's chirping, I'm gonna lose my mind.
If it is, Tim, I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna have to go get up and just.
Oh, I will. I will. Maybe I'll go do that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Tim. Oh, not the smoke alarm chirping. John says, BK crying to the refs that Bama is sending bleeping 8 the game's over. With his starters in versus backups and passing every play is pure comedy. John, first of all, love the profile pic with Ed Reed. I don't know what you're talking about with this quote, but there's a tweet I want to show you guys in a second about BK and Freeman. Let me see if I can't pull it up real quick. Okay, here it is. All good, Tim?
Yeah, quick and easy.
All right, this tweet right here.
What do we got?
It says record versus ranked opponent since hiring. Now, I don't know if it's a record when they were ranked or like when the game was played, if they were ranked or what, but Freeman 10-4 and Brian Kelly 4-8. Notre Dame poised to make the playoffs. LSU has been eliminated with 3 losses, so... Do you know what John's talking about in the super chat?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I saw this. It is true. He was yelling. It's pretty awesome. He was yelling. Now, I don't get into, I mean, as you
Bama was sending 8 the games over.
Literally, I don't get into this.
Oh, like blitzing 8? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, I don't get into this bashing Brian Kelly like so many fans do. It is what it is. I got enough stuff to worry about in my life. But this tweet, Mike, literally, he's going up to the ref, yelling at a ref saying they're blitzing 8, damn it, I don't know if he said do something about it or call, I don't know. He was literally, I'll send it to you. You can read the text and some guy broke down the words. He's bitching. It's at the end because he's still trying to score. Bama's got all their backups in. So they're like, oh, Brian Kelly, you guys are still trying to throw the ball and trying to score on our backups. So he's like, screw you. Bama's blitzing the living hell out of them. And that's when Nussmeier gets hit at the end. So he's getting beat up like crazy. It's almost like the Georgia Tech game at the end, where
I wonder if the announcers are crying about it.
Whereas was still throwing and everything, and his quarterback's getting killed, and Nussmeier's getting destroyed. So, but yeah, Kelly lost his mind a little bit at the end of that game because they got destroyed. I watched a little bit of that game. Yeah, it was an ass kicking. So yeah, I'll be honest with you. Before these polls or before this thing, I really don't want to see Alabama in an 8-9 game. Okay, so people who don't want to think Alabama should be jumped higher, jump 2 spots. I don't care. I don't want to see Milroe running around because that dude he's going to run a 4.35 at the combine. The guy's unbelievable.
If you do see him, you want it in South Bend. Quick programming note. We're going to talk about a couple of Notre Dame commits, Tim. We got about 15 minutes until the college football playoff show starts. I'll actually pull it up on my second monitor. Might as well. And we'll talk about it. Although I'm sure what's that, Tim?
No, I said we'll go play by play when they.
Yeah, we will. We will. But I'm sure streaming it on my computer will be behind by like a minute or so, the cable broadcast. But we'll talk about some recruiting in a moment. But first, let's hear from Barb Stevenson. So, folks, if you are looking for that perfect gift for a special Notre Dame fan in your life, or maybe yourself, or maybe both, you're going to want to check out Barb Stevenson Art. It is your premier destination for spectacular pen and ink limited edition prints of the University of Notre Dame that you love so much. Each scene is created from a series of photos personally taken by the artist of the most iconic buildings on campus. And folks, when we do ad reads here. Look, we get all sorts of the ends of the spectrum, right? Big companies, and then you get a Barb Stevenson, like a local artist. Like this is super unique stuff that you're not going to get anywhere else. What makes every print so unique and one of a kind is the hand painted metallic gold accents that Barb adds to each and every one. So you can explore the fabulous selection of prints on her website, which is barbstevenson.com. It's what for folks watch on YouTube. It's what you've been seeing, BARBSTEPHENSON.com. Want to highlight 4 in particular. You have first the iconic trio. My favorite, personally, 3 of the most loved buildings on campus. You got the Basilica, the Golden Dome, and Touchdown Jesus. You also have the Grotto, which depicts one of the most quiet and serene places on campus, a very popular spot for prayer and meditation, as well as weddings, proposals, and visitors on football weekends. You have the Golden Dome, which is a world-famous landmark and one of the most recognizable symbols of the university. And then last, but certainly not least, is the shining view of the Golden Dome and other beautiful shots of this iconic landmark. To purchase or view additional Notre Dame prints, visit Barb's website, barbstevenson.com, or give her a call at 574-210-8388. So here's her other prints that you can see on her website. Order now and receive free shipping anywhere in the continental United States. BARBSTEPHENSON.com or call 574-210-8388. Love you, Barb. Thank you for sponsoring this week's show. Okay, new commitment, Tim. Thomas Davis Jr., his father, Thomas Davis Sr., played 14 years, I believe, for the Carolina Panthers. And Thomas Davis Jr. at Weddington High School in Matthews, North Carolina. Notre Dame finally got a commitment from Weddington. If you guys remember, this is where Will Shipley went to high school. So I have a couple of highlights. So he doesn't have like a senior midseason film or anything out there. So we're going to look at some of like a single game highlight reel, and then we'll look at his junior tape. So Thomas Davis Jr. announcing to Notre Dame Monday night, was just on campus for the Florida State game over the weekend. And you'll be able to find the story at Blue and Gold on what's today? It's Wednesday, where I got to talk to him about the commitment. Just haven't been able to write it up yet, but he told me that he's been wanting to commit to Notre Dame for a while. But this kind of sealed the deal. He met with Marcus Freeman, had a one-on-one chat with him. That put Notre Dame over the edge. He went home, talked things over, and then decided to tell the staff Monday night. Talk to Golden, Bulla, Freeman, Bowden, Carter Allman. Those guys were all really fired up. So Notre Dame has not really been pushing too much, Tim, for class of 2026 commitments. They're wanting to just kind of take things slower. If you look at guys they took in this class the 2025 class last fall, Deuce Knight, right? CJ May. Some of your early commitments are guys who, I feel like they rushed decision and then later decommit. So Notre Dame was really selective in who they wanted to take an early commitment from. And Thomas Davis Jr. for this 2026 class is one of them. Someone that told me he's going to stick with the Irish. He is all Notre Dame. So that's Thomas Davis Jr., 4-star prospect. On3 has him ranked as a 3-star. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm sure that will change. You see the other websites ranking them inside the top 130 nationally. So, Tim, we'll again, this is just a single game highlight of his senior film, and then we'll look at some junior tape. I know I kind of sprung this one on you late, Tim, so you didn't really get a chance to.
Yeah, until about 5 minutes before the show. I haven't been on Twitter or a message board or anything. So
thoughts on this?
He's a good, solid, square-looking middle linebacker. That was the first thing I remember when they offered him. I want to say he was a pot of gold guy, correct? Mm-hmm. I believe so. So pot of gold. I try and watch a lot of those guys' films, see who's who, and I know you and Kyle Kelly have talked about him for a long, long time. So, and he's visited I feel like 10 times. Seems like he's always up there. Is it 3? It feels like a dozen. I always feel like you guys are writing about him all the time, unless you're just chatting with him. But he's going to be your prototypical middle linebacker. And that's, once again, that's what Notre Dame is, right? They're a Mike Will and 5 DBs. type of set. So he's definitely an in the box, physical, downhill, a C to C guy, as I like to call the Mikes and Wills, filling those inside lanes. So he's a good football player. He runs really well. He's got some good striking ability. I saw on his sophomore film and whatnot. So curious to see I think he's going to be a Mike. So that's just going to be an inside, type of guy, like a Drake Bowen type of a body. Is what I see. There's a big hit right there. There's another one. He knocks the living hell out of someone. I was spot shot, just trying to watch a few clips I found on, from his junior film right here. But look at that base right there. He's got good, solid base, good looking legs. And he's only a junior, man. It's crazy to think about, like, the linebacker recruiting that these guys have been doing has just been outstanding. So when you see him, you're like, when the hell are you going to play? So it's like 2027, right? So you would expect get him out there as a sophomore, so to speak. I don't, with the guys they've been having in. So curious to see how he develops, how he goes from there. But you could easily see this guy being a 6'2.5", 6'3", whatever he measured is, solid 235-pound Mike Backer, I think, down the road for the Irish.
Really playing some like safety on that last clip.
Yeah.
That senior game film, he looks like he's added a significant amount of weight.
Yes.
So we're watching junior tape here from sophomore. Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Sophomore film to junior looks like he's added a good amount. And great kid, key target for the Irish. Notre Dame is really excited. So he visited for a spring practice, and I believe it was the Grill and Chill at the end of July, and then for the Florida State weekend. So really good job by the staff. Again, key target. Tim, I went hot on predictions last August, remember, in 2023. And then in 2024, tried to do the same thing, looking ahead to the next class.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did like 6 or 7 predictions. I'm actually going to pull that up real quick. Davis Jr. was one of them, and one of them that I felt like I felt pretty confident about. The others that I did that month, Braden Jones, who committed to USC, but I'm still going to hold that one on Notre Dame because I feel like the Irish got a shot there. Tyler Merrill, an offensive lineman from PA. Samote Kadewanga, a defensive end from California. Trent Mosley, double Notre Dame legacy, feel good there. And then Mikhail Blade, love that pick. Chicago Simeon D lineman, and then Connor Salmon, the receiver from Virginia, who was just on campus this past weekend.
Real quick on that list, people. Trent Mosley he's big legit. Time. He is just, he was the Trinity League Player of the Year last year. Him and KVA. He is killing it this year for Santa Margarita.
So those were all predictions that I logged August 20th for Notre Dame in the 2026 class. So, Notre Dame getting off to a pretty good start in that cycle with quarterback Noah Grubbs, receiver Dylan Faison, and now Thomas Davis Jr. So, 3 commits at this point of the cycle is less than the Irish usually will have. But again, I think that's kind of by design. Notre Dame, just a different. Just a different mindset, I guess, the way to look at it. Just trying to avoid decommitments early on. So, but Tim, any other thoughts on Thomas Davis or 2026?
No. I've just been watching him, and so the more like I said, I haven't watched him in a while. So watching this latest film and all that stuff, he's way longer than I thought when I first. Now that I'm sitting here watching him, he's got some long arms. So. He's definitely going to keep growing and be a big physical presence in there. So, as we say, right, every linebacker is a Viper, right? Every Viper is a 3-tech, every whatever, wide receivers, this, that. But no, he really does look long on some of these tackles where he's swarming and getting after people. So, good looking kid. He's, good base on him. He's already got some size to him, so that's going to be great to see him come in and fill out.
We'll watch one more from his senior film. This again, it's just like single game. He looks to me, it looks significantly bigger. And that first game we watched, I think he was wearing number 48. So I want to say, so I don't know. That happened to me my senior year. My number 19 went missing. I'd wear 7 for a game. So I don't know, maybe the same happened to him. So look at him playing out in space.
Yeah. I mean, that's his main position. He's an outside guy. He's a cover down guy a lot, but definitely looks way bigger than his sophomore film.
Yeah.
When I first saw him as a sophomore, I was like, whoa, he's a little lightish, light in the weight and whatnot. He's definitely gained some weight, so he's going to fill out nice. I mean, you can easily see this guy being a 235-pound middle linebacker. Yeah.
All right.
The Irish. Good swarm right there.
Notre Dame got a commitment on Monday, November 11th from Nolan James, running back from DePaul Catholic in New Jersey. Flipped him from Boston College. Tim, super productive at the high school level. Over 500 carries already, nearly 5,000 all-purpose yards. I think close to 50 touchdowns in his career. Nolan James going to go down. I mean, I don't know the high school career statistic leaders chart in New Jersey. But James got to be up there, right? I mean, ridiculous. So Boston College had a tremendous running back commitment on their hands. James didn't have a ton of offers announced, but like he never even announced an offer from Notre Dame. You don't even know how many other offers he got and just didn't post them, or how many schools had reached out to him and he said, thanks, no thanks. But he told me that Notre Dame was the one school that he was going to look at, if he was going to flip from Boston College. So, Tim, really interested to see what you think about this kid, because he definitely gives some vibes of of a specific past Irish linebacker.
Yeah,
running back.
No, exactly. He's got over 3,600 yards rushing, 7 yards a carry so far in his career. The best thing that I saw is, the first thing I like to look at running backs, because when you see Notre Dame, they like guys that could catch. And this dude could catch. He's also got over 90 catches and 1,000 yards receiving in high school. That's insane for a high school running back to have that many. So, man, all right, let's just jump into it, right? He looks like definitely a clone of Kyron Williams, a clone of Aeneas Williams. He's got a little Jabril Payne from his I was a huge fan of Payne his sophomore year, and obviously injuries took their toll with him. But man, he's fun to watch. I mean, come on, he looks like Kyron Williams. You watch him, he looks like Kyron. There's no doubt about it. He's got the same little mannerisms, the way he bounces. I'm a huge fan, as people know, been listening to us for a while, of Duo, the inside running game, because it's all about double teams. And Mr. Running Back, go find one guy, make one cut, and make a play. So that is what he could do. He's a damn good inside runner. And he plants one step and goes and gets yards. That is really fun to watch it. I love his counter steps, by the way. We used to teach that. You rock like that. But he's just, I mean, this is right here. See him one-on-one with the safety. Boom, a little move, cut to the left. That's one of my favorite plays right there. So really good high school football. Obviously, we talk about that all the time, the Jersey Catholics. They've gone out of state and played some of the Catholic powers along the eastern region. They don't shy away from competition, shy away from anything. He's been a 3-year player for the varsity, which is huge at that level. He's a damn good football player. What I like, another little thing is, obviously, where was he going as Boston College? For guys that have been around and watched Boston College, man, they always seem to get damn good running backs and go to the league. And obviously, Bill O'Brien being an NFL guy and Bill Belichick buddy for years and years and years, loved him. They went after him, and they've had this commitment for a long time, correct? I think since the spring. So that's December. A good thing. What's in?
December of last year.
Oh, my God. It's longer than I even thought. Okay. And then lastly, so you got 3 – I mean, they flipped 3 guys lately, right, Mike? So you got a quarterback from Clemson, and Clemson and Dabo knows what the hell he's doing, so they got him, correct? You got an Iowa lineman. Iowa, another Joe Moore Award semifinalist today. Really good offensive line this season with Cameron Herron coming from Notre Dame. And then you got a BC running back, and Boston College knows how to run the damn football. So I was like, man, Notre Dame just flipped 3 guys from 3 programs that produce these positions. So I was really impressed with that. But really good footwork, hit great fundamentals, which goes back to his high school coaching. He's got a lot of little intangibles where it's like, college ready. You know what I mean? Like he's not coming in as a freshman and going to be a dude right away, but college ready coaching that when he comes to Notre Dame, he's going to know all those fundamentals and just fine tuning and see what happens. So Notre Dame's got damn good running backs and just throw him into the mix.
I'm going to make a comment here that might sound like it's a slight, but I don't really mean it to. I was thinking the college readiness, Tim. He may not have this super high ceiling.
Sure.
Like, I don't know how much better he's going to get. He's such a high level football player already. And just talking about like him on the field and what he is a.
Did Mike just freeze? I think Mike froze.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You froze for about 12 seconds, so it's all good.
Internet. What was the last thing? It doesn't matter.
Oh, you're talking about the hardcore, which is true. He's not Jeremiah Love, who's going to go 90 anytime he takes off.
If this is a 4.4 40-yard dash kid, he's a top 100 overall player. So I think the top end speed kind of limits him there.
Sure.
But he may not have the highest upside in the world, which again I think people might take as a slight, but he's going to be. I think Kyron is kind of the same. Like Tim, do you think like Notre Dame Kyron to NFL Kyron? It's like what he's able to do at the high school level is going to translate well to Notre Dame, and I think it's going to translate well to the NFL one day. Tim, do you remember Kyron Williams, pro day or whatever at the combine? Oh, yeah. Didn't run well. It's like, oh, his stock is dropping. I feel like, and then Kyron goes to the NFL, and what does everyone do? They bet on his anytime touchdown every single Sunday, right? I feel like I think Nolan James is going to be the same. That's my take. So,
no, he's got. He's once again, it's funny. This is a pretty cool conversation. Maybe you and I will have in the offseason, bringing Kyle as well and all that. Talking about, because some people are like, oh, the high floor, high ceiling, so to speak. So if you recruit these Catholic League kids, so to are they, how much better can they improve? Well, people. Jeremiah Love was not some public school kid down the street, by the way. So, are they already maxed out kind of in a way? I don't think so. I like recruiting Catholic League kids because they come to the Notre Dame. You already know what it takes to do. I call them high achievers. High achievers have already hit that level. They come to Notre Dame, and you keep building off of that. You already got a work ethic. I think that's so important to win at and survive at Notre Dame. So I like James. I watched him right away, and I was like, bam, he looked like Aeneas Williams instantly as well, because Aeneas with the way he could cut and he can move in between the C gaps and stuff like that. So that's what I see with him. He's definitely a guy, you watch him, you're like, this guy could average 4.5 yards a carry, 4.5 yards a carry at Notre Dame. Easy. That's why I think can he be a Jabril Payne type of a guy in 2 years, who was a third down guy. Aeneas was that this year. So I don't think he's a guy that is going to come in and play right away, because for number one, they won't need him next year. The running backs are beyond stacked. You got Love, obviously Price, Williams has played in every single game, and then Young. And then if Payne comes back, what are they going to do with him? So it's already a stacked room for next year. He's perfect red shirt, play a little bit, get ready for the run in 2026 as a redshirt freshman with Aeneas, Young, and whoever else they're bringing, because I bet you could sell Kyron Williams, sell Audric Estime. Jeremiah Love's going to go to the NFL next year. So there's no reason Notre Dame can't go out and get some elite, high-end, top 50-ish type guy for 26.
Yeah.
As a freshman. Because look at the path that's going now at running back is awesome.
Yeah, it really has been since Lance Taylor. Kyron Williams on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Kyron Williams class on is Notre Dame running back recruiting has been tremendous. Autry Denson, credit for signing Kyron. But yeah, I think James. I think I can see Nolan James playing in the NFL. He's pretty developed. And that's a good thing, because I think he could play next year if Notre Dame needs him to. But someone like his teammate Elijah Burris, I think, is just kind of scratching the surface of how good he can be. But yeah, Nolan James, Outstanding. Really excited. I said this on a video today with Darren Pritchard that I think as a website or two is going to rank him as a 4-star player. There's no doubt in my mind. Folks, let's hear from Game Time, the fast and easy way to buy tickets for sports, music, comedy, and theater near you with killer last-minute ticket deals so you can just get relaxed and hyped for the fun that you're going to have. The website is super easy to manage, and there's a feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You got the all-in pricing that I love. Toggling this feature shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. You can check out seat views to get a panoramic shot from your seat in the app before you buy, and you'll get the lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time is going to credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Make sure you download the app, create an account, and use the promo code ON3 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, folks. Again, create an account, redeem the code ON3 for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, so I guess the playoff has the playoff show started yet, folks?
I just turned on the basketball game just ended. So number one. I haven't watched any hoops yet. Kansas is number one. And there you go. So yeah, Kansas just beat Michigan State. So this thing will kick off in a few seconds, and then they're going to go quick. I've watched some of these in the past. Whenever it's in between basketball games, they hammer this stuff out and then get back because I think Duke's on next. So they're not going to worry about who's the bottom teams are real quick. So they'll hammer this thing. All right, good. Everyone's shaking hands. That's great. We get it. Oh, Duke, Kentucky's on next. Here we go. Ooh, big boy basketball. Who did Notre Dame play last night? Like Valparaiso or somebody?
I don't answer questions.
I have no idea. I have no idea about Notre Dame hoops. So
yeah, I got like 3 monitors working here. So usually, folks,
was it? Any questions in the chat so far as we sit here and wait?
I'm yapping. Let me yap. Usually, folks, this is figuratively and literally a buttoned up show, but the rest of the show here, we're just kind of winging it, for the lack of a better term, because we talked about the topics that we wanted to discuss, Tim. Yeah. So now we're just waiting for these rankings to come out. So as we wait, Mr. Hyde, I can pop up, and again, for folks listening back or watching this on YouTube, it's 8:40 p.m. Eastern time. The rankings obviously not come out yet. So but we don't. So Tim, here is On3 published this. I am just gonna pull it up here in un momento. Here we go. Let's see. This was the projections in order for the college football playoff. On3 published this morning. Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State. No.
This is just a projection, right?
I know. Yes, it's just a projection, but no way Penn State over Tennessee. Tennessee's just got 1 loss, right?
Yeah, Tennessee lost to Arkansas, beat Bama, Penn State, lost to the Buckeyes, and they have no win, so we could get into all that stuff down the road. So
Indiana at 6 is fine, BYU 7 fine, Notre Dame at 8, Miami 9, Alabama 10, Ole Miss 11, Georgia 12. So this is the projection that On3 put out. This would be, I think, best case scenario for Notre Dame, because all eyes going into this, Tim, are where does Notre Dame rank compared to those 3 2-loss SEC teams and Miami? I think we're going to learn everything about how the committee views Notre Dame tonight as the college football playoff top 25 show gets going. I wish I could pop it up on the screen. We can just watch it together, but I don't want my channel taken down. But we'll talk about it live as it happens, folks. So, Tim, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, no, that's a good point because, first of all, I'm not too worried about, the BYU and Miami debate, so to speak, because they're going to be 3-4 if they win out. So, you know what I mean? So they're going to be 3-4. It's the two loss teams. Historically, man, it's like these committees have always in the rankings and all that. They love undefeated teams. They love if you have a 1 loss, you're the next batch, and then the 2 loss. But you start to look. I mean, Alabama's got 4. We'll have 4 ranked teams in this thing tonight. 4. Notre Dame will have 2 with Louisville and A&M. Texas will have none. Penn State 0. BYU beat SMU. Miami 0. So Miami will have 0, and they have a loss to Georgia Tech. So
yeah,
Indiana 0. Tennessee will have a couple. The SEC. See, that's the other thing. When you get these rankings, there's so many freaking teams. They always keep the SEC ranked, so you get a ranked win. Shocking, but I'm counting ranked wins before people go after me. We beat Navy. I'm talking ranked wins in the top 25 today. Bama will have 4. So they beat Mizzou, obviously LSU, and the ass kicking beyond belief. Man. Holy moly.
yeah.
Oh my God, I can't even think now. Georgia, and they beat somebody else. Oh, South Carolina. Oh, I mean, it's funny. Now people are talking about Alabama as a national title team. They scraped by the skin of their teeth by South Carolina. South Carolina is the top 10 football team if they knew how to close out games. They blew the LSU game and blew the Alabama game. Absolutely blew those games. So like, here you go. You want to win? We don't. And both were at home. How the hell you lose those? So it rolls from there. But the Penn State debate, the only thing Penn State has is a strength of schedule. It's solid.
Okay. Yeah, it's solid, right? There's no like.
Exactly. They're the only team they've beaten that's been ranked at the time of the game was Illinois, who was 21, and Illinois is going to finish 6-6 now.
I think Penn State beat a Bowling Green or something, but otherwise it's just been solid bowl eligible team type wins across the board, but nothing crazy.
No, but and people hate when I say this, and I'm going to say it because that's what they do. I want to piss people off, right? The one thing that they have going for them over Notre Dame is I think their strength of schedule is 30. Notre Dame's in the 70s. Penn State has 10. People hate it, right? 10 Power 4 games. 9 conference, West Virginia. Notre Dame 8. So take that for what it is. It is what it is. When you look at the greater scheme of things. The analytics and everybody love Notre Dame over Penn State. Defense, offense, game control, management, this thing, that thing. Notre Dame blows out Penn State in every single analytical metric. So it also just goes back to the Mike Singer who hates preseason polls, right? It's the same with Texas.
No, I love them.
No, you don't. But anyway.
Yes, I do. I love preseason polls.
But I'm just saying, just because Penn State's preseason number 5, you lose to Ohio State, well, we're going to keep you number 5. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So hopefully this committee starts to really dive into some of these things, look at them a little bit, and and see how these things break themselves down. So it's like Ohio State. Their only ranked win is Penn State, I believe. Then they still have Indiana. So Texas, I know people have been getting on Texas and Horka and all that stuff. Texas, yes, they don't have any ranked wins, but my God, Mike, the only team that's been within 20 of them was Vanderbilt. They have demolished everybody outside of Georgia. So that's just something to keep in mind with Texas. And you really can't even talk. It's hard to compare Texas and Notre Dame. I'm just saying if they were on the board together, you know what I mean? It's hard to compare them because the one common opponent is going to be A&M, and they don't play them until Thanksgiving weekend, obviously. So we'll roll from there. But Notre Dame, I've been preaching you got to get that 8 seed, right? Which means technically, Mike, they would have to finish number 6 in the rankings. Now with Miami, basically the Big 12 and the ACC falling down. Which is a good thing. Is this it right here? Oh, no. They always review this crap. It's like, yeah, we got it. If you don't know how this thing goes by now, then you shouldn't be watching this show, right?
This is my here. This is work. This is what I got going right here. Got the Watching it on my second monitor, folks. So
It's like,
we
come
are
on.
watching it. We are watching it live together.
So just a quick little review as we're sitting here waiting, and we could they got
Tulane, number 25. Okay.
Joe Moore Award
They had a
semifinal.
great win against USF. Army coming in at number 24, the 9-0 team that the Irish will play next week.
They finally played a team that's strength of schedule in below 100 last week against North Texas. So the fight.
Missouri coming in.
Eli Drinkowitz saying he should be in the playoffs at 10-2. So there you go. See, this kills me. Did Missouri? That's Sobel if he's watching? Did LSU and Missouri play? I don't think they did. But yeah, come on. How the hell is LSU with 3 losses, Mike?
LSU 22, South Carolina
and
21.
Hold on, LSU beat South Carolina. LSU beat South Carolina. So how's South Carolina ranked ahead, right? See, this is why some of these things are so stupid. We're watching it live. We're getting the fighting Drew Pines, exactly. A big win for them last week. See, this is the stuff that kills me when you go head to head and you start looking at the 3 loss. So
Clemson at number 20.
So they're fighting to keep all those SEC teams in there with all these losses, no matter what, right, Mike?
Louisville comes in at number 19, up 3 spots.
Yes,
that's big. That's 2 Notre Dame opponents. Of course, the Irish beat Louisville and play Army next weekend.
In Louisville,
Washington State, number 18. Go ahead, real quick.
Yeah, no. I was just looking it up. I wrote down some notes on some of these guys. God, who's Louisville? I forgot who they have, but Louisville has a really good path to be a 9-3. I could see them being 9-3, finishing right around that 15, which is awesome.
Colorado, number 17. They're up 3 spots.
They have, I think, ASU. Mike, the Deion Sanders is going to get these guys in the Big 12 title game. That's crazy to think about. Their schedule is not bad. Arizona State's a pretty good little football team that's playing good with their new head coach. I could see, but I hope Arizona State upsets them. That'd be awesome. There's K-State. That's a BYU win. BYU's got 2 wins. That's right, K-State and SMU, even though they lucked by the skin of their teeth last week.
Yep, Kansas State, number 16 in the country. Oh, man.
Yeah, Colorado lost to Nebraska and K-State.
All right, so where it's starting to get interesting.
Yeah, Colorado with no ranked wins. There's another one. A&M down 1. Okay.
Texas A&M, number 15 team in the country, down 1 spot. So probably Ole Miss is the team that jumped them. I think they were 16 last week, Tim. So Ole Miss is jumping.
Tell you, I mentioned it the other night. Saturday night was Ohio State in 2014 when they started the first playoff bracket at 16 and moved all the way up. Ole Miss's D-line's freakish. That's why I'm hoping everyone, seriously, light candles, Notre Dame, Indiana. That's the game we want.
Okay, so now what's happening? Okay, second team out, number 14, is SMU, which I think is about where they were.
So that's setting up that ACC winners. They're only going to get 1 in, Mike. I think that's pretty much solidified. They're going to get 1 in now with only 1 loss. Boise. Does Boise stay ahead of if SMU wins the title?
Boise, the number 13 team, but the highest ranked G5, so they are the 12 seed. Georgia, the first team out at 12. So Georgia, number 12, which is exactly where On3 predicted. So On3 had Tim, basically all of this right. A&M 15, SMU 14, Boise 13, Georgia 12.
What?
Ole Miss 11.
Yeah, there's Ole Miss. So Notre Dame is ahead of the 2 losers so far.
So that's good. Ole Miss being 11 is solid for the Fighting Irish.
So how
SMU was the number 13 team. So yes, they did move back due to I mean, I'm
No.
not listening to the show, so I don't know.
No,
what
no,
they're
it's Ole
saying.
Miss. Ole Miss jumps.
Okay, they just haven't put it
SMU.
up yet.
Yeah,
Who's texting me?
Yeah, there's Ole Miss right there. Yeah, Ole Miss jumps SMU.
Okay, so that's Ole Miss jumping SMU. So you got Ole Miss 11. So on 3. Let's see what on 3's projections were. So they had. So if on 3's predictions are right, they'll have Alabama at 10.
Which they should. They beat Georgia. They have 2 losses, but they have a ton of win. I mean, they got LSU. Damn it. Who's LSU have? Marco Glasses here. Do they play Florida? We need come on, Gators. Let's go. Knock some of these guys down. What are you talking about? It's like, come on, man, just put it up.
I'm not looking at the chat. I don't want to be spoiled by the chat.
Oh, I'm not even looking at either. I'm just watching. I got it here on my
Bama 10.
Yep, there's Bama. Just Mike, are you serious? The on 3 predictions that is on.
Dude, they've been cooking it. Look at this. This is they just. I mean, from 15. I mean, even 17, 18 up. I think has been.
So does that
dead
put
on
Notre
accurate.
Dame? That puts Notre Dame at
8. So
Miami's going to move up into a bye because they're the highest ranked ACC. So Notre Dame will be the 8-9 game, correct?
Yeah, looking like
Indiana.
So Miami, there you go. The number 4 team. I'm not gonna risk it actually.
Oh, you're cool. So they're 9.
I was about to pop up ESPN's show on the screen, but I can't risk it.
No, everyone's probably watching it with us, so that's cool. Everyone's got it back.
So there's a number 19, Florida. Again, from like 18 up. On 3 has nailed this. Not to like toot the employer's horn, but Notre Dame number 8. So there you go. Number 8 team in the country. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Playing Rocky Top. Woo!
But they would go at Tennessee. So Notre Dame has the 8 ranking, but the 9 seed. Remember, folks, those are 2 different things. So based on current rankings, the college football playoff would have Notre Dame going to Tennessee. My sources tell me that they're calling it the Mike Goolsby Bowl if that were to happen. And on 3, missed that one. On 3 had Tennessee at 5.
Ooh, wow.
In the projections.
BYU.
I mean, BYU
still at 6.
The number 6.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know why? Because they're just going with the. I mean, they do have 2 ranked wins now. SMU and KC. But they are undefeated. They're undefeated though.
Yeah, but 10 is, that's fine. I'm fine with where they are. But I feel like Tennessee should be getting more love. Look, you lost to Arkansas. But you have wins.
Well, they beat Alabama.
You got at Oklahoma. That's solid. You beat Bama.
I think Bama's their only ranked win.
Yeah, but we've looked around at the SEC, Tim. They don't have many of those, right? They don't have many ranked wins. Like Texas does that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I don't know. 1 loss and a Bama win. This should get them higher, in my personal.
They've struggled a lot on offense. Their defense has been lights out. They're on par with Notre Dame.
Nico is out for this Georgia game, I believe.
Are you serious? Oh, they're going to lose.
Is that this weekend they play Georgia?
Yeah. So let's be honest. This Notre Dame Tennessee thing is meaningless because Georgia's going to boat race them after.
That's true.
Because Georgia's fuming right now. They're not even in the damn playoffs. They got knocked out last year with only 1 loss in the SEC title game. So yeah, they're going to go for blood.
And there's Indiana.
Who's Indiana?
Indiana at 5? Is that them at 5?
I want to play Indiana so bad. Seriously. I want Indiana. Come on, Hoosiers.
So they have Indiana hosting Bama.
That's okay. I'd rather
Indiana, the 5 team, the 7 seed. So now we are just waiting on. There's Ole Miss in the 6.
No, they jumped up that much. No, that's Penn State.
I'm sorry. The seed. Penn State, the number 4 team.
This is
the number 6 seed, which is where they. No, they had jumped up 2 spots. Sorry, the seeding and then the rankings screw me up. So they were the number 6 ranking last week, moving up to the number 4 team in the country.
Last week, Mike,
the 6th seed.
Yeah, last week, Georgia was number 2 last week. All right, so Georgia was 2. They're out of this, at least for
There's
this
Texas,
week.
number 3 team overall, the number 2 seed.
Texas was out. They had Georgia as the SEC champ last week. Remember, last week was Notre Dame Penn State in the 7-10 game last week. So you can see how this thing is moving around like crazy every week. And there's Tejas. Who do they have? Here. Who's Texas? Oh, Texas. Is it Arkansas or a bye? I know they still have Arkansas, Kentucky, who's dog poo, and then that game against A&M is going to be a bloodbath. It's like there's going to be 3,000 fights in the stands. That thing's going to be nuts.
So just wrapping up here, waiting on 2 more teams. Waiting for the number 5 seed, and then, of course, so that's Ohio State, predictably, and then Oregon will be
Buckeyes first out. Oregon,
yeah. So Ohio State's the number 5 seed, but
that 5 seed.
But the number 2 team overall, and then of course Oregon being at number 1.
That 5 seed is pretty much going to be as long as Ohio State demolishes Indiana.
All right, we're risking it for the biscuit. I think this will be fine. So the screen's going to be a little dark, but you'll be okay, folks. So that is I'm going to read off the rankings in order. So just the rankings: Oregon 1, Ohio State 2, Texas 3, Penn State 4, Indiana 5, BYU 6, Tennessee is at 7, 8's Notre Dame, 9 Miami, 10 Ole Miss, 10 Alabama, 11 Ole Miss, and then 12 is Georgia, 13 Boise, and 14 SMU. And the bracket would be Boise at Ohio State in the 12-5, Notre Dame going to Tennessee in the 8-9 game, Ole Miss going to Penn State in the 11-6, and then Alabama going to Indiana in the 10-7 game. And then your 4 byes would be Big Ten champ Oregon in the 1, SEC Texas at the 2, Big 12 BYU in the 3, and then ACC Miami in the 4. What's your first reaction, Tim?
Everything's going to change Saturday night. I mean, you just go right into it right away. I mean, we're right at the pecking order, right? We keep talking about Notre Dame is at 8 spot, Mike. They're right there. I mean, seriously, they will be 8 next week. Hammer Virginia. Tennessee's going to Athens, Georgia. So, yeah, Georgia has struggled this year. They're not the mighty team that they were a few years ago. Who the hell thought be as that good as that? They're still going to be at home. They will beat Tennessee by a couple double digits, especially if they don't have their starting quarterback in the game. So you got to go from that. So Georgia's going to get back in. Notre Dame will be 8 next week. They are going to be 8.
Yeah. Tennessee loses. Now
they're going to finish, and they're going to be right at that 8 spot. So that's going to be pretty cool. So
now would Georgia jump and take that spot?
No, because they have 2 losses. They've played like crap many other times this year. I mean, Kentucky. There's some of these teams in Kentucky, dude. You had Georgia on the ropes and let them off. So some of these teams have slithered away. So, Texas up there, obviously. I don't see how they lose unless they just don't show up against Arkansas, Kentucky, which is nuts.
Tim, let me say this.
Sure.
I've been tweeting about this, talking about this on shows. Very fascinated with where the committee would rank, and I said this right before this went live, right? Where the committee ranks Notre Dame compared to the 2-loss SECs and Miami. I knew they would be under BYU, but I was like, where are they going to rank? I think 8 is perfect. I think this is where they should be. They ranked above Miami. They ranked above Bama, above Ole Miss, and above Georgia. This is, I think, as much as you can ask for. So that's good. This is good.
There's going to be a few, like Miami. Miami's. I mean, that ACC is going to get one of those top 4. So it's going to be Miami. So the loser of Miami SMU, assuming it's those guys, Clemson still has an outside shot, but SMU and Miami should win out. Let's just say the loser will have 2 losses. Where they're at in the rankings, Mike, they're not going to get a second team in. So the loser will have 2 losses. You're going to the Outback Bowl. The winner will get that 4 seed, 3 or 4, whatever the hell it finishes. The Big 12 is the same. With BYU playing Colorado more than likely from what it looks like. So that's going to happen. And I mean, we talked about this 9 months ago. The SEC is going to get 4. The Big 10 is going to get 4. You can say what you want about Indiana. They will only have 1 loss, and that's going to be to whatchamacallit.
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Their strength of schedule is 100. 100. It is dog poo. It is 100. So they do have a common opponent. Give me 5 seconds. Obviously, it's going to be Purdue, right? So we got Purdue. That's going to be their common opponent. Is going to be with those guys. Indiana at 11-1. This is why I'm hoping. Knock on wood. All the Notre Dame fans light candles, say prayers. We want the Hoosiers because we don't. I don't want SEC in the first round. We'll play you in a neutral site bowl, but I want Indiana. I want to pounce on them, have some fun. Indiana has an FCS win over a 3-7 team. They played FIU, who's 3-6, Charlotte, who's 3-6. No ranked wins, so they will be 11-1 with no ranked wins. That's why, they're going to definitely drop down after Ohio State loses to them. But I think the 5 seed is locked in to that Big 10. Oregon at 12-1. Let's say they lose to Ohio State. They're 12-1. They'll get that 5th spot. Does Ohio State at 11-2, 2 losses to Oregon? What do you do with them? When your only 2 losses are to the number 1 team in the country, that's going to be interesting. But Ohio State, let's say they're 11-2. Let's say they lose to Oregon. They will get a home game. They're not going to drop them. They're not going to punish them for losing in the Big 10 title game.
Sure.
And then it comes down to the SEC. Alabama, Mike. Let's say Texas wins out. We all want A&M to win out, but if Tyler's listening, we'll give Tyler a little love tonight. Texas wins out. Texas will be the number 2 seed. Alabama, Mike, at 10-3. Does the SEC champion loser drop down and doesn't get a home game? You know what I mean? So that's going to be curious. They'll have 3 losses.
Wait, are you saying does the 3-loss team not get a home game, but they're still in? You think of 3 losses?
Oh, hell yeah, they're going to be in. The SEC runner-up is not getting knocked out of these playoffs. Who's hold on, 10-3 Alabama. So let's say they're finished 10-2. They handle Oklahoma, Auburn, and they probably have an FCS team left. And they lose to Texas. They lose to Texas 31-24. They're 10-3. They're not gonna drop a 3-loss SEC runner-up.
So it's basically the conference championship games at the SEC and Big 10 level are, if you win, you move up. If you lose, it's okay. You'll still make the playoff.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I don't see how the hell they're gonna. How can you knock them down when those conferences are so powerful? You know what I mean? So I'm just saying. Let's say it's Alabama. Let's say Alabama once again. I'm just using an example. It could be. It could be A&M, right? A&M will have 2 losses. A&M beats Texas. Me personally, I don't think Texas will get in. A&M will flip-flop with Texas into this bracketology thing. Because once again, Texas will have no ranked wins, 10-2. They're going to be out. A&M plays Alabama. They're both 10-2. The loser at 10-3 is still going to be in. That's my humble opinion. So I think this SEC at 4 in the Big 10, people want to talk about, like Heather Dinich was on Pat McAfee's show talking about getting a 5th SEC team in. I don't know. So right now it'd be Georgia, correct? So does Georgia get in over in Indiana 11-1?
From a Notre Dame perspective, this is very positive. If you remember last week's show, I was all pissing my pants about, like, what if the committee loves the SEC and really is down on Notre Dame because of the NIU and the strength of schedule. There is a world where you have different people on that committee, and Notre Dame's at 12 and not 8. Like, I think 8 to 12, depending on who you are, you can make a lot of different cases here. Because again, of this group, Notre Dame's got the worst loss.
They have the worst loss, without a doubt. But once again, all these guys, they all get in a room. They break the top 12, they break down into groups of 3. So they're looking at these guys tight amongst 3. So like right now, it would be, Oregon, Ohio State, Texas are in their pod. Notre Dame's podding right now with Tennessee, Notre Dame, Miami's in a pod. So those 3 all got grouped together to break those guys down. And then they re-vote like a dozen times as they keep breaking these guys down. So Notre Dame's got love. So Notre Dame, I'm throwing out trying to remember some of the stuff I've read over the years is the committee right now in their first poll is already proving Notre Dame's above the 2 lost teams. So that is a massive positive. Yeah. Going back to your point, Mike, it is huge that they already got Notre Dame solidified in this package of 1 lost teams. So that's big. That's huge for Notre Dame, which going back to, I think they're going to get a home game. When this is all said and done, as long, damn it, I'm going to say it again, as long as you don't do a 2015 Boston College where you win 19-16 and then you sucked against Wake Forest and barely won in those committees. Obviously, they lost to Stanford at the end, and you start to dribble away. So beat the living hell out of Virginia. Go beat a respectable Army team, and then throw all your chips in the table and go handle business against USC.
The way this is trending, I mean, Notre Dame wins out. I would say there's like a 70% chance they host. I would say they host the 8-9 game. That would be my guess of where this ends up. Potentially the 7-10, but I think host the 8, like Tim's been calling for a while, and think about how you felt after the NIU game. If I would have told you, hey, Notre Dame's still going to host a playoff game, Lord knows what you would have done. So this is good. This has been really good.
And lastly, as we wrap up, is you got Virginia. There's going to be a big game this week. Obviously, Georgia and Tennessee. That's going to be a big, big game for the committee. So if Tennessee goes and loses, even if if they don't have their starting quarterback and lose, they will still drop a couple spots. So Notre Dame will gobble up that 8 spot right there. But Georgia on the outside, put it back up, Mike, real quick. How do you jump? So Georgia's the one that's going to be scratching and clawing, right? You just lost to Ole Miss and you lost to Alabama. So you have 2 teams in front of you. So Tennessee is probably going to be out of this thing at 10-2. You lose to Georgia, they're going to be out because now Georgia's going to gobble up that 4th spot. You see what I mean?
Is there arguments, Tim, for these teams? Like, why be in the SEC? Why
ask Oklahoma that.
If you're Tennessee or Texas A&M or hell, even Missouri, you're playing in the Big 12 right now. Yeah. You're the best team in that conference potentially, right? You and BYU, it's like, why just the cannibalization in the SEC, and then to an extent the Big 10 is just like.
Well, so wow. Look at the Pac-12. The Pac-12 would be where it is this year. Obviously, Oregon being damn good football team and all that, but that's those. You think SC's like, that was a good move. I'd rather travel to the East Coast 3 times and go play Tucson, Arizona. Not play Cal, right? Yeah, Cal's ACC now. What the hell am I thinking? Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to go to. I want to host Penn State instead of Cal Berkeley. That was a smart move.
Mark says that's why they're going to expand the playoff. Yeah, that's
they will. True. They are.
They are.
2 years. They've already talked. It's going to go to 14. Personally, I think they're going to go to 16, and they're just going to gobble this stuff up.
Just Joking says we want the 6th seed. We don't want the 8-9 game. Don't want to play Oregon, Ohio State second round. But bro, you're gonna play somebody. So just nut up and you'll be fine. Come on. Who's this we?
It's the playoffs,
Come
man.
on.
Once to win a national title, you got to beat these guys anyway, right? So
yeah, play them.
Which will
Tim Hyde in his national championship year beat Utah.
Get on them.
And then Bama, and then Oregon, and then Michigan.
Come on. Line it up.
National championship with Steve Angeli, your quarterback.
Oh, no, but hey, I'm fired up because I'll be honest with you, man. I was biting the fingernails this morning when I was looking at Ari Wasserman. Speaking of On3, did a great article for everyone to go on On3 and read Ari Wasserman's article. He broke down like the 26 teams still alive, and he gives you why they're still. It's pretty cool, breaking down everyone like Clemson. Clemson still has hope. Eli Drinkowitz and the Fighting Jack Sobels and the Missouri guys are still alive. Technically, they're alive. He's nuts. They're not going to move into the playoffs, but technically they still are. So if wildness happens, but it's a really cool article, especially trying to figure out the Big 12, which is a freaking mess. That thing is just eating each other alive. But that going back to the other thing with breaking up the Pac-12 is just stupid as hell. There's so many teams that are like, what the hell are we doing? So going back to Utah, BYU, right? That the AD coming out calling out the Big 12. Oh, that was awesome.
Tim, good show, folks. Please hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Tim and I will be live next after the the Notre Dame Virginia game this Saturday. What time's that game?
It's got to be 3:30, right? 3:30 NBC, and then we got back-to-back night games. Yankee Stadium and Army. I know, Mike.
Well, we don't have the SC time yet, but it's probably going to be a night game.
It'll be a night game.
I could see it being a 3:30. I could see it being a 3:30. I'll bet you a case of Mountain Dew on that.
I think SC's going to win. I think SC's going to win the next two games. They'll beat Nebraska, UCLA. They'll hype it up. Notre Dame fighting for a playoff game. They're going to put that thing at nighttime in Los Angeles.
Oh.
That's my humble prediction.
That's going to do it for this week's show. Folks, really appreciate you tuning in. Fun one, right? Started with some recruiting talk and then shifting into just this live, unfiltered reaction of the college football playoff rankings. So hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have not done so, hit the thumbs up. And as always, we will catch you next time.